Hello, and welcome back to the Brothers Gin. My name is Matt,
I'm Nick.
and today we have another episode talking about cryptids.
The Cryptid Iceberg.
The Cryptid Iceberg. This is going to be a longer series that we're doing where we pick a cryptid, we do our own research. So I'll research one cryptid, Nick will research one, and then we'll just explain that cryptid to each other.
Each getting a deeper knowledge of that cryptid.
Yeah, and the further we are in this series, the deeper in the iceberg we will go. So before we get too deep into it, let's try some gin.
Some new gin this time. This is Bombay, right?
Bombay Sapphire London Dry Gin, vapor infused.
Infused with vapors?
Maybe that's just how they distill it. I don't know. But I will pour it for you this time first, good sir.
Yes, because you've noticed you poured yourself. Thank you. Ooh, it smells like rubbing alcohol.
It's pretty dry.
It's very dry. Oh my god, this is going to be so bad.
Okay. All right.
Cheers to you at home. Oh my god, that was so much worse than the other one.
Oh, it's tastier,
No, yeah.
but it's like strong. Ugh.
I think you put rubbing alcohol in there instead of...
Yeah,
Oh.
did you? You replaced it with rubbing alcohol?
I was
Oh.
going to say, yeah, you talk first because I can't speak.
Let me.
That took me on. That took me down.
Whoa. Okay.
So what do you... Whoa. So which cryptid are you bringing to the table this week?
So I'm going to go a little bit deeper in the iceberg, but I think this is a little bit more well known, especially because of TikTok. But I'm going to be talking about Skinwalkers.
Ooh.
And I'm going to be setting the story a little straight on what Skinwalkers originally were, as opposed to what we see them today. So first, I'll get into what we think cryptids are. If you look up on TikTok, Skinwalkers are. You look up on TikTok, Skinwalkers, you're gonna see these creatures that are non-human, right?
Okay.
They are kind of humanoid creatures where there's these creatures that would pretend to be humans.
Okay.
So skinwalkers, we think, are these creatures that will lure you in to attack you. If you're walking in the woods, they say, if you hear something, mimic your voice, or you hear, oh, that my sibling is speaking to me from in the woods.
That's where that comes from.
Right, that's the skinwalker. That's what we think skinwalkers are.
In the Supernatural episode of the Wendigo, they did that trope. So I guess they had that conflated a little bit.
Some people think skinwalkers have the same tropes or same like build, I guess, as a skinwalker.
Okay, yeah.
Whereas they'll put Wendigo traits onto a skinwalker, whereas the original idea of it, the original folklore was not what we know today. So
Okay.
yeah, they shapeshift into different beasts. They sometimes shapeshift as your pet to try and trick you into trusting them.
So they're like tricksters.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
they're tricksters. So if you see on TikTok, there's like, my dog was staring at me a little strange. That's a skinwalker.
Is that meme of that dog with a humongous smile? Or is that something totally
That's
different?
something different, but
Okay.
it would be something like that.
It's something like that. Oh,
Or it's like-
jeez.
it's
Colleen
like-
pulled it up. That's a skinwalker.
But everyone in the comments will be like, that's a skinwalker. That's a skinwalker.
Yeah.
But really, that's just an ugly dog. It looks like a human.
Okay.
So it's a little bit, they're conflating this idea of like skinwalkers are animals that just don't look right, or they're like
Piercing into your soul.
Yeah, that's just a creepy dog with creepy eyes. Like
Yeah.
that's not a skinwalker. Right. But So, and a lot of the stories you'll hear of Skinwalker stories, you'll hear something of like, I was out late at night near the woods, and I hear a beast calling from the edge of the wood line, and my dog starts going crazy, and I smell death all around me.
Smell death.
Yeah, which that was usually associated with the Wendigo, the smelling of death around the Skinwalkers. That's just not what the original Skinwalkers folklore was.
So paint out the original Skinwalker for me, because I'm not. So what is take away the Wendigo? Stop, not compare it to it. What is what the original Skinwalker?
So the original Skinwalker is from Navajo origin.
Okay.
So instead of the Algonquin,
I'm
not exactly sure how this ties into that, like those tribes, but this one is specifically like Navajo.
Oh, okay.
The word that was associated with this in Navajo is Yi Naudlushi. It's the Navajo. It roughly translates to walks on all fours. It's like by way of walking on all fours. Like that's the literal translation.
Any animal is that word that you did perfectly.
But yeah, sure, perfectly. But that specifically relates. They are witches. So a Skinwalker is a human.
Okay.
It's not a creature.
Oh.
It's a witch.
Where did the Skinwalker as like a creature come from then?
So actually, I'll get into that, but first let me say, but there are different kinds of witches.
Yeah.
But these are known to be the most feared because they are believed to be the most malevolent of these kind of witches. These witches are known; they're the antithesis of Navajo culture.
Antithesis.
So all the
opposite.
cultural values. Yes, that's what that means.
For people who don't know.
They're the complete opposite of the cultural values. So you have healers that protect evil with ceremonies. The Skinwalkers, or the Yinal Lushi, will have rituals to pretty much spread evil and chaos and death and illness.
Do you know why they do that? Because I can understand why people would go spreading kindness, but then is it just for the sake of evil? Just the Skinwalker does it?
I don't know the motive.
Wendigo was eating the skin, right? And then
that's more of like a consequence of your action that you might take just because you're struggling to survive. Whereas this is you're evil.
You're purposely doing this. And it's not a consequence of anything. You're having fun with it. Okay, interesting.
The origin of what we think of Skinwalkers today is mostly just made up stories. One of them that made them super popular was a show we like, Ghost Adventures.
Really?
Zach Bagans and his crew did an investigation in New Mexico.
I think I remember that episode actually. I mean,
he talks to the medicine man.
He did. He did like those
like an interview,
a ritual. He did too with them. Yeah.
Which again, this idea that people in the tribe don't openly talk about it because they're worried about the Skinwalkers. Which was perpetuated in Ghost Adventures, and then he interviews multiple people
about it,
Navajo or like that are talking about it.
He wanted to seem like he had special access, I bet. But so you're saying people are open to it?
Just for reference, I did pull up where like the Navajo region is.
It's like near New Mexico and
you have it.
Arizona,
so a bit more south in America.
Right. Where is it? In
the Wendigo are up north.
We're up north.
In Canada. Okay. So. Oh, yes, South America.
And a lot of people sometimes get these confused. And I think that's where why our Skinwalkers now are like kind of Wendigo-like because they kind of mix these two up. But a Skinwalker... So Zach Bagans tells the story, which he provides no source for this story.
Yeah.
He just tells the story.
Is this the Skinwalker Ranch one, or is this a separate one? Because he did a couple
this is
Skinwalker.
A separate one. I think it's a separate one. Because he's just in the desert in New Mexico.
Okay.
He tells this story because he was on a Navajo reservation. He tells a story that if you're driving on the New Mexico highway at night, you'll see a coyote following the car, and you'll ramp up to 60 miles per hour, and the coyote follows with the car traveling at 60 miles per hour, and then you'll see a man. He transforms into a man, and then a man's running after the car. It's like there was no basis for that story. Where did that even come from?
That was a totally made up story, is what you're saying?
Oh, I'm assuming it was made
it's
up.
not tied to any Native
didn't
American
provide a
folklore.
source.
No, nothing.
No, but the thing that is tied up to folklore, which I'll get into, Skinwalkers, they were just witches, but they were witches about death and the dead.
The opposite, like you said, of the good witches in their culture.
They're not human animal hybrids, but they are humans that perform these dark magic rituals that gain the power of transforming into animals.
Can they transform into other people too, or just animals?
Just animals.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah, like
Kind
you
of a
saying,
nerf
they were
superpower.
mimicking the people speaking.
They can't turn into
They
them.
were,
They just
probably
mimic.
wouldn't do it. Right. They would just like mimic, but that's all by using dark magic, right? So what they would do is they would wear the hides of these different animals, and then they would walk on all fours, and then they would transform into these creatures, giving them the name Skinwalker, because they are walking in the skin of the animal and then transforming into that animal.
Colleen actually just pulled up a picture of that, describing exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's like wearing the hide of
He's
the animal.
wearing the hide of the animal, and then he'll transform into that animal.
I see. Okay, so I think I'm trying to get some realism in it, or like where the possible realism. I think there was people back in the day who were able to move in such a way that resembled an animal, and they would just wear that to get an extra fear tactic, and then they were known as skinwalkers.
Right, and they would, if you're looking late at night,
Yeah.
you would see a man turn into one of those things
Exactly.
because they're wearing.
He's
the skin of
running, goes on all fours, and now you just see an animal.
You see a wolf.
Yeah.
Right. But these humans, okay, right? Because I want to say these are not animals. They are humans
It's
that
just
can
the fact they're
transform.
not creatures.
Right. They
Yeah.
walk in other skin. They engaged in terrible practices like murder, cannibalism, incest, all those terrible things that are completely against Navajo culture.
And they did it just
and their
because it was
values.
against Navajo culture.
Right, or just
For
to
the sake.
spread evil. The way they would become a skinwalker is it would be an initiation, where they would go into a cave at night, and this is why a lot of the times, and Zach Bagans talked about it. The reason why the area they were exploring was said to have skinwalkers is because there was a cave right near there. There was a cave entrance where there was thought to be where they performed those rituals.
Skinwalker activity.
Yeah. So they would go in a cave at night, and you had to be initiated. It's like you had to know a skinwalker to be initiated into. You just can't become one by yourself.
Okay, it's a special club.
It is. It's like a secret club.
Yeah.
And the way you would do it is you would kill a close family member or a loved one.
Okay.
Usually it was a sibling, because remember, it was all tribal stuff. So it's like you would kill someone in your family.
Someone close to you,
which is
kind of.
against the culture. So they would sit around a campfire in a circle, around the fire, and around them would be baskets of human flesh and rows of decapitated heads
Okay, where do they get the heads and the flesh?
from the loved ones that they're killing.
Oh,
'Cause
so it's
like they
a
said-
mass thing? It's not just one loved one? You get as many as you can kind of thing?
You get your loved ones, but skinwalkers, what they would do is, because they wanted to spread evil and do these evil rituals, they would cut the heads off of people,
Oh, okay.
and they would cut skin off of people.
Interesting.
But you would be fully naked, except for the headwear that you see in those pictures,
Okay.
right? You would be surrounded by all this stuff, and then they would sing the ritual songs, the Navajo ritual songs, backwards.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
And-
interesting.
And they would do these sand paintings, which is it's a ritual for like to bring health, harmony, and order with nature. But they would do it at night,
And they would do it backwards.
and they would sing it backwards. So
Okay.
they're doing these things where the Navajo
Interesting.
specifically set it for this is a daytime
'Cause,
activity.
this is like kind of like a side note, but in Catholicism, when you turn the cross upside down, it's kind of a betrayal of Jesus and God. That's pretty similar to doing the rituals backwards. So it's just like taking what you know that's good and reversing it.
And just flipping it around,
Yeah.
pretty much. What they would do is they would also, like I said, engage in cannibalism, but they also did necrophilia, where
Really?
they would do stuff to dead bodies. They would also defecate on sacred Navajo symbols. So it was all about spreading chaos.
So just like trouble for the sake of trouble. That's why I'm saying why.
Yeah.
Like, are they just troublemakers for the sake of it?
I haven't seen any motive as to why they would do this.
There is no
other
motive.
than causing social unrest, spreading illness, spreading death.
Because in today's age, you would say it's for the sake of like collapsing society. I think today, like I think society's horrible, so I'm going to spread hatred and hopefully something happens.
It could be that. It
could have been, but
Maybe they
I
didn't
doubt it.
agree with the way that the Navajo were doing things, so they just did it the opposite.
Maybe. I guess, yeah, like this
Mm-hmm.
is defiance. It has to be.
Yeah. Well, because their rituals they would act chaotic in order to bring an imbalance to nature, whereas the Navajo traditions are to bring harmony to nature and to live with nature. This would be the exact opposite, to bring imbalance to nature.
Okay.
There's a story that I'm gonna tell, a story that is accounts from Navajo children, where this one this woman went around asking like the children of the tribe, like, what's the Skinwalker about? And they would tell this story that's not real, like it's not a real account, but this is what they would tell people to basically teach them lessons.
Moral.
Like don't leave family members behind, live together like with people. So
You have the story?
I do have the story, but before I get into the story, I had a question thinking. The Skinwalkers we know today, right?
I don't know any, but yeah.
No, not personally.
Not personally.
But the ideas that we know today,
Yeah.
where they're like creatures, where they're not humans, but they can transform into different beasts and attack you with different beasts.
Yeah.
Do you think that is the Skinwalkers from then? When they aged, now they became what we know as Skinwalkers today. So let's say this all real, they existed back then
Okay.
in the 1800s, stuff like that, and so they started doing all this crazy stuff. They were humans, and they performed all this dark magic to prolong their life to where now they're these beasts that we think they are.
Well, you have
so
to
all
assume,
the Skinwalkers that we talk about today, they are real Skinwalkers.
you have to assume what they did prolonged life, giving
Right.
it a motive to doing it, actually.
Right, that
But-
would give them motive.
It would, yeah.
I was gonna say maybe it's kind of like the Wendigo, where like the eating of the flesh seems to kind of make you immortal in a way, but you become a beast. So maybe it's kind of like a similar thing, like you're posing the dark magic.
It eats at you.
Yeah.
But
And then I wrote that under my question. I was saying maybe they're different because of the long use of this dark magic. In some way, it transformed their soul the similar way as a Wendigo.
I think
where
one
they
is,
become
yeah.
a different creature all in of itself. You separate from your humanity.
The
from a
transformation
long
is
time
different.
of doing this. A lot of people now will say like, oh, the Skinwalkers in today, they would transform into a bear and then attack me as the animal, causing harm in that way. Whereas back then, the original, they would transform into like a fox or a coyote that can easily sneak into a house.
I guess it's dependent on what you need. I used
Well-
to play D&D, and I had a familiar where, depending on what you
Right.
needed, you would.
Depending
yeah.
on but they wouldn't attack you in the animal form. What they would do is they would go into the house, gather information about. They would be sneaky,
Be tactical.
and then use dark magic to harm that person
I see.
instead of harming them physically with the animal that they're transforming into. Or they would use it to get away quickly from someone who,
Well,
when
my-
they're
my
found
thing-
out to be a Skinwalker.
Why do you care if you should travel fast if you can turn into something that could travel fast? You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's another reason I was seeing it was like they would cause havoc and then transform to get away quickly. So they would do something
Yeah.
to cause craziness and then be like, oh, I gotta get out of here.
And then just dog.
Which is seen in the story that I'm gonna tell.
All right, tell me the story. I want to hear it.
You want to hear it? Okay. So I bullet pointed it, so it's not going to be like a spooky story. I'm not a great storyteller, but this family of 5 people.
Okay.
There was a dad, a mom, a daughter, a son, and a baby, and they lived they lived far from their society. They were kind of in the middle of like nowhere. So they would have to go to the trading post to get supplies.
Okay.
Right? The dad, the mom, and the daughter, they take the trip. It's like a half-day trip. So they're going to be out all day. They leave the son and the baby together at the house. Now the son's friend comes over as well. So it's like the parents, and they're like, we can trust him. He'll watch the baby. You know, the baby was 1 year old, so it's like they'll be fine. It's not a newborn. Like they can survive the day.
Not getting into too much trouble.
No, not too much. So the babysitting's going well for the most part. Son's taking good care of the baby. When the baby would fuss, he would tend to him, give him food, play with him. As the sun starts setting, the son, S-O-N, puts the baby down to rest, puts him in the bed.
Okay.
So the baby's sleeping. Him and the friend, they're just playing around, you know, having a good time back then, whatever they were playing with. Then they hear scratching outside the window.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, that's strange. That's weird. They look out the window. No one's there. So creepy. Then they hear a knock at the door. They go to check the door. They open it. No one's around. Nothing's there.
They're in the middle of nowhere, too. So.
Right. So they see nothing. It's like, well, that's creepy. They close it. They lock it. Then they hear, well, they start calming back down. They're like, oh, that was weird, but let's just play it, ignore it, forget about it.
Let's just play Uno. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
that's
they
what they
do.
were doing. Then suddenly, a loud banging, pounding on the door starts. Not like a knocking to see like, hey, is anyone home? But more of like, I'm going to bust this door off the hinges.
Yeah.
Loud banging. Very similar, but louder.
No.
Not this table. But so then the friend gets really frightened, jumps out the window, hops onto the roof to hide, essentially.
The friend?
The friend.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But they had smaller houses.
Yeah, I guess.
They could jump on the roof.
He's
like
like, I'm
that.
outta here,
Yeah,
peace.
they're not like, yeah, but he left. The son was too afraid to get out of the house, so the son hides under the bed. Now the pounding on the door wakes up the baby. Now there's pounding, and the baby starts crying. And the son is so frightened, he closes his eyes shut. He's just like really terrified. And as he's hearing the baby, he feels like, I left the baby on the bed. And now he's way too afraid to go up and get the baby now. So he's waiting. He's sitting there for an hour of pounding. All of a sudden, both noises stop at the same time.
The crying and
The
pounding.
crying stops and the pounding stops. Right? So the son, still shaken with fear, is still just sitting under the bed with his eyes closed until he hears another knock at the door. Now he's getting weirded out. He's scared. But he then slowly creeps up to the door, puts his ear to the door, and he hears his parents. So he's like, okay, we're fine. He opens the door. The dad comes in and screams his head off. Starts screaming like crazy. So the son is like, what? Turns around. He sees the baby laying on the bed in a pool of blood with its head cut off. So they follow the trail of blood. The trail of blood, dries up. There's no more blood. It fizzles out. Then he's following footprints. Then the footprints seem to change from human footprints into some type of animal footprints. Then eventually, there's no more footprints to be seen. But luckily, he's following them. He sees a house. So he goes to the house and knocks on the door. He's expecting to see like a skinwalker, right? Wearing the hide, like a disheveled man, an evil witch.
Yeah.
Knocks on the door, sees this lovely old couple.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, it's not them. They didn't do this. But he asks them, can I go search around your house? Just make sure. They check the outside. Outside's fine. As they're checking the inside of the house, one of the hunters lifts up a rug and finds a hidden doorway that leads to a stairwell down into the cellar. So the dad's like, let me go. He walks down into the cellar, and it's dark. They don't have lights. You can't flick on the light. So he's down there. His eyes are starting to adjust, and as they're slowly adjusting, he could see a little bit more. He sees a figure standing in the middle of a corner, in the corner.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the Blair Witch.
Yes.
Just standing in
standing,
the
oh,
corner,
that's scary.
not looking. So he's like, what's going on? He waits a little bit. As his eyes fully adjust to the room, he sees baskets of blood, of human flesh, and on the shelves of the wall, lining the entire cellar, shelves and shelves of human heads, lining the walls. Now he gets afraid, pulls out his gun, and shoots at the figure. Nothing happens. He's shooting this figure, and the figure is not going down. Then the figure starts melting. He sees, like slowly dripping down, and then into this smaller form. And then they see a fox run out of the cellar and away. So that was a skinwalker transforming into,
like you said,
a fox to get away quickly. So then he asks the old couple, like what is this?
Yeah, did you
What
know
are
about
doing?
this
Did
in
you
your
know about
cellar?
this? What are you doing? Out of fear of retaliation from the skinwalker, they didn't say any more information. They gave nothing. So he then shoots the old couple because they're guilty of this in some way. Either you won't tell me or you're doing it. So, and then they never found the skinwalker. Like, the moral of the story is to say,
what is
kids,
the moral?
if you are watching out for someone, you have loved ones, don't leave them behind. He left the baby on the bed, and then the baby died. It's to, like, tell these kids to, these are our traditions. These are, we look out for each other, like, we don't participate in these horrible acts, but it's, it's to scare them into doing the right thing. But so it just freaked me out. Hearing, when I heard the story, I heard a telling of it with audio. So you hear the knocking, and they played a little baby crying. And then it cuts out. So then while I was listening to it, I was like, that's creepy. And then as it kept going, with the knock on the door, you hear the dad screaming. They played an audio of the screaming. And then I'm getting into it. So I'm now imagining all of this stuff. And I'm like, just finding the baby there, that's terrifying. Right? You see a pool of blood.
And you picture it in your head,
headless,
and that's worse.
It's like, oh my God, that's terrifying. And then when he gets to the cellar, I imagine in a dark room where you're letting your eyes adjust and you think you see something in the corner. And then as you can see more, because if you're in a house, right, and you're in a dark room, and as things, you think you see something in the corner, turns out it was just your dirty pile of laundry, stuff like that. Or you hung up a sweater, and it's like, that's in the distance, but it clears up as you see it. But imagine the room clearing up, and now you see heads on walls. Like, that's just even creepier.
Why didn't he kill him in the story? I guess it's just a story.
Because that's not what he was doing. What he was doing was the black magic with the baby. His goal was to take the baby's head. His goal was never to attack the dad like that.
But why didn't he just attack the dad then?
Because that's not what they did. What they did was black magic, stuff like that, to spread illness and chaos. Which I would say that spread more chaos than just upright turning into a bear and ripping him up in the cellar, Like, now you're like, there's skinwalkers out, and we're under attack by dark magic. And away from the story, the medicine men or healers, they would never go out to attack these people. What they would do, is they would come up with better ways of healing. They would come up with better healing magic.
They counteracted.
To counteract the...
Did they ever come up with healing magic to put back heads?
No.
Okay, so then they didn't win.
They didn't help it that much. But they would counteract... they would really just do preventative magic.
Yeah, that's
to prevent it.
That's where you get all that that cool stuff in the culture, like wear this, put this on your thing to protect you from skinwalkers.
Right. It's all about protection.
Very cool.
Yeah. So really, really cool stuff.
That was a really good story. I like that.
Yeah, it's intriguing.
I don't think I have anything similar to that.
And then all the skinwalker stuff you hear today is, I would say it's not as scary as that, because this one, it's a person doing the problem, whereas skinwalkers are just creatures. It's like, if you're not in the woods, you're fine. Like, I don't worry about skinwalkers. But if I'm living next to the woods and I can look out and see the edge of the woods and then just darkness, of course I'm going to be fearing a creature known as a skinwalker. You know, stuff like that. Like, I'm not afraid of it now.
Or you're going to tell that to your children so they know not to go into the woods and possibly die from something real. You know?
Yeah, but if I knew that a man was performing dark magic, I would be like, all right, let's not piss him off.
Yeah.
Because he might, take my son's head. He might do all this stuff. So yeah, that's Skinwalkers. So it's a bit different than what we hear today, like in Reddit, like r/Skinwalkers. That's I listen to those stories. I listen to people tell those stories, and they're creepy. But now knowing the origin of a Skinwalker, it just takes it a little bit away from me, because all these, now I know these are fake. Because if you were to say like an original story and it's not what the original thing is, I know you just fabricated this story of what we think it is today. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
I get what you're saying. So you're basically saying, like, if you don't have the roots of the Navajo culture in what you're saying, then it's not real to you. Because it's not real, because it's not from the Navajo.
Either what your story is real, but it's not a Skinwalker, or you just made this story saying, yeah, this is a Skinwalker based on what you thought a Skinwalker was. Mm-hmm. Right?
You're just using the Skinwalker name, not the whole lore.
Right.
Okay.
You're not using what the actual origin is. But yeah, that's my cryptid for this episode.
Very cool, very cool.
Do you
I learned a lot. I do. So as you can see in the picture, we're doing the Jersey Devil. But before we start, we have a drink coming in.
Oh.
Woo! Let me get my phone out to see what the drink is called. Our producer, Caris, sent it.
Not a spicy. It's a spicy
It's
one?
a spicy drink for the devil.
Diablo.
So this one is just called the Jersey Devil Shot. So it has white rum, grenadine, lime juice, hot honey, chili powder, and a dash of cinnamon. Oh, this is going to be spicy.
And it smells like it has rubbing alcohol, too. That was a joke, but
Cheers.
cheers. Not that spicy. Oh, hold on. A little bit on the back end, a little
No, that
spicy.
tastes like something. That tastes like a candy.
It tastes like Swedish fish.
I guess like a Swedish fish, yeah.
It tastes like the other drink that we had. that
Yeah, a
Karen
little
made us.
Swedish fish, but more like sherbety too.
Yeah.
A sherbety Swedish fish.
I'm not really getting any spice. Not that much, but in the back of my throat, it's like a little coffee, you know?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's not spicy at all. Like if you're thinking you're going into that shot as if you're going to burn your back of your throat, it's not.
Right.
But
it's
it's
not like
very
a
good.
spicy margarita.
It's very fruity in my mind.
It is very fruity. It's really good, actually. I really like it. I didn't get that much lime juice, though. Like, it didn't taste like it.
No,
It
but
tasted sweeter.
You got the lime juice once it hit your tongue, and you were like, "Ooh, that like tartness, sweet."
Yeah, I didn't get that much tartness, though.
Oh,
But it was good.
Made yours differently.
Maybe you got all the tartness. I got all the spice.
Right. All right. So the Jersey Devil. So
Yeah,
I want to
tell me
try
about
to
it.
paint a picture. I'm not going to tell the story as good as you. You said you weren't a good storyteller, but then you just told a perfect story.
Okay.
So 1735. It was a stormy night in the Pine Barrens in colonial New Jersey. Okay. So there was a mother named Mother Leeds. She eventually gets known by. She was exhausted. She was really worn out, and she was giving birth to her 13th child. So she already had 12 children beforehand. So she was
Whoa.
probably
She's done.
yeah, right.
I'm like, another one?
She deserves a TV show.
Yeah, right.
So she got so fed up that apparently her quote, she said, "Let this one be a devil." I don't know why you would wish that on yourself, especially after 12 kids, but she said it, "Let this one be a devil." So when the child came, everything at first seemed normal, but then within minutes, it changed. So it came out normal, but then changed physically. The baby twisted and convulsed, its skin stretched, its body elongated, and then before the midwife's eyes, wings tore out of the back, hooves kicked out by its feet, and a forked tail lashed out of its back. So that's where you get that image from of the woods.
Is that where we get the image of the devil? I'm probably not.
Not
But
of
where's
the devil.
The pitchfork tail, like that spiky tail.
You're gonna notice this devil has a reminiscent to the Catholic version of the devil of goat eyes, goat hooves, and
Right.
stuff like that. This one takes it to an extreme and adds wings and a tail. I guess, like you said, there was a tail, a pitchforked one, but look at it. That's not the devil as we know it, you know?
No.
It is devilish.
If a baby transformed into that, that's terrifying.
Exactly. It transformed into it, killed all the midwives, and then escaped with a big shriek, and now apparently lurks in the Pine Barrens. So the Pine Barrens is a huge acre of land within the middle of Jersey, more South Jersey than the middle. Can you look up how many acres is the Pine Barrens? Covers 1.1 million acres of southern New Jersey. So when we're talking a very big land, this is expansive. So this is why the folklore kind of spread, because when you have something like that in a space that big, it can't be disproven. So ever since then, from that night on, people have claimed to see a devil winged like being in South Jersey, pretty much.
But yeah, so that's like the fear of Christianity, or the fear of the devil.
Colonial propaganda, just to try to get the Leeds family to not be prominent. And now they're literally the laughingstock of folklore, of like, oh yeah, she gave birth to a devil. We don't believe it, but now that's what their family name is associated with. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's silly. Yeah, do you believe in the Jersey Devil? Do you, like, if we went to the Pine Barrens?
Believability scales now?
We can do a believability scales now.
Okay.
So what's your believability for Jersey Devil?
Flat 0.
0?
Yeah.
Oh, before we do believability scales.
Okay.
Because it might change your score.
Sure. Yeah. Do you have any sightings? Like any real stories?
Look up, I think you had a picture already. Look up the Jersey Devil. Look up the hammerhead bat. I think this is the Jersey Devil.
Oh.
People have misconstrued it. And I think that, look how exactly it looks like it.
I didn't even realize that was a real animal.
Exactly.
That was so fake.
No. Yes, I totally forgot. So
that is
I feel like that might change your score, because let's say even if someone human trafficked it, Occam's razor says that's more probable than a devil. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think that is what was spotted. Maybe, and we have bats in Jersey. I don't know if we have a hammerhead bat, but let's say, I think that's exactly it.
Yeah. If there's someone who
smuggled
in an exotic animal and then let it loose, like, because people don't say they saw a Jersey Devil nowadays. So maybe someone smuggled in a Central African bat.
Exactly.
People saw it. It was going around for like maybe a month or two.
It died.
And then unfortunately passed away because it wasn't taken care of. It wasn't not in its thing, but the legend didn't.
Exactly.
And so people are perpetuating that. So it could be just an animal.
All right, so back to the believability scores. Now knowing that, what do you think?
Oh, this does put a little wrench in it.
Not flat 0.
Not flat 0 anymore. Right? You have to say, I would put it maybe a 3.
Okay.
Just because this animal might have existed that was smuggled in from where it's originally from. It went around. People were looking at it and were getting freaked out. They perpetuated a story against the Leeds family, saying this was their devil child. Yeah. When really it was just an animal that escaped, and so I'll put it as at a 3.
I'll go 4, but I think it's a little bit opposite. I think that the story came first, 1735. I think that story actually happened. Propaganda. I think they went around and they wanted to discredit the Leeds family. Fast forward many years later, and then somebody smuggles in an African bat. People see it, tie it to that old story.
So that story of her was from the 1700s?
There is actually reports, like, people do corroborate that story, and yes, there is a lot of corroboration to that.
So her having that baby was in 1776?
1735, but yeah.
Or whatever,
Before 1776, yeah.
1700s.
So, and there is corroboration for it. Do I know if it's real? I don't know. How much do I believe it? I didn't see the manuscript, so I don't know.
Right. It's real, but how much is real?
Exactly.
Real in the same way that witches were real.
Exactly.
Right.
Which, I mean, the killings were real. Right. So, I mean...
Yeah. There was
probably someone
afraid of this, but was it necessarily true? And how much was true?
I think the cool factor is, like you were saying, the story happened, and then later with the hammerhead bat kind of added to the story and then made it something different, brought it back. So, 4 and a 3.
Okay.
What would you think of the, what was... Skinwalker.
No, you go first. It's mine.
Okay. Skinwalkers... I give it, I have to give it a 0, because from what you're saying. You said they're witches, And I don't believe in witches. I don't think magic is real in the form of you could do all that. So flat 0.
Okay. That's fair.
Mhm.
But take out the believability of witches. Do you think there were people that spread evil, did all this stuff, and then were convincing enough wearing the skins of different animals to transform into different animals?
I feel like you have to consider, like, hundreds of years ago, people thought that magic could be real. Like, where today we know magic isn't really real, but back
That's
then, they thought, if I stomp on the earth this way and it rains tomorrow, my dancing caused the rain. So that's magic.
That's true.
Right.
But in that case, though, like then I would have to give it a 10 because there has been documented accounts of in that culture, right? Like the Navajo has experienced people who dressed up as that. So if you say that's what a skinwalker is, then yeah, I believe I'll give it an actual 3 because that did probably happen, but I don't think they actually transformed and actually did a good job at that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
and if you bring it into the skinwalkers we know as today, where people are telling the scary stories, I think that brings it down too, simply because the fact that, well, one, what are you really saying exists? That a creature can mimic and transform into different animals? Like,
yeah,
I don't believe that. That's silly. But again, saying how the original folklore of it probably exist, that probably was people were probably very worried about,
other people.
Yeah. That's the main
biggest
problem.
Scary monster, it's always the people.
Yeah.
Who act like scary creatures.
Scooby-Doo.
Skinwalkers today, 0. Skinwalkers back, hundreds of years ago at the Navajo, 10. I think there were people who believed in causing chaos and dark magic for their gain, whatever their gain was. They wore these animal hides. Do I think they actually transformed? No. But I think that transformed, like, over the years, like, based on our current quote-unquote understanding of skinwalkers.
So what was your score for the skinwalker?
Exactly what Colleen. 0 for today's tellings of
Jersey
it.
Devil. Of today's tellings, and then
Of Skinwalker.
of Skinwalker, yeah.
Yeah. 0 for today's Skinwalker. 10 for there really was people that in a dark room, in the dark woods, you can convince me that you just transformed into a dog. Especially if you're good at running on all fours and you're wearing something that looks like a wolf. My brain back then would definitely have been like,
You're a Skinwalker.
you just changed into a wolf. So
Alright.
a 10
I'll put
for
a
the
10 on
people,
the board. Yeah.
10 on the board.
Yeah, because it can't be both. So
But a
it's 10.
0 for what people say now.
Exactly.
Absolute 0.
A 0
There's
for
no
what it
way.
became.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, all right.
All
Thank
right,
you
so that was another good episode. Do
so
you want
much
to take
for
a shot
watching.
to end it?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do
Want
it.
to do some whiskey again? Oh, do the devil whiskey?
Do the
creek
devil
water?
whiskey.
A little spooky creek water.
In honor, I'll pour it.
Put it in this one so we don't get...
Yes. Now, do you want a big shot or a small shot?
Oh, very little, please.
Yes, because we have been dying.
All right. Well, you put more on the table
I did.
than you did in my cup.
That's what you wanted, right? You said a small shot and mostly on the table.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers.
Another good episode. See you guys next week.